So the reason for this Whistle Stop Gloucester tour is because my cousin was getting married and we were coming down for the wedding, and the wedding was on Friday. So we got up and I got up very early. I was up at 7 and breakfast was any time between 7 and 10. So I headed out at 7 o'clock to try and find an Argos, and I looked all around the Peel Centre and I started heading south, which was a silly idea, and I saw a couple of trading estates, no Argoses in sight. So eventually I thought, well, I'm heading out of the centre here, so I'll turn round, I'll go back and I'll have a look on the other side. And I went all the way through the shopping centre and out onto the quayside, still no Argos, and finally I'd hit the high street and I was halfway to the cathedral by the time I'd found the nearest Argos, and that was at about 8:30. So I'd been scouring Gloucester for an hour and a half by the time I'd found it. Now it was only luck and a few prayers probably being answered that found me outside this Argos. So then of course my parents texted to say, oh, breakfast time, you know, are you coming along? And I said, well, actually I'm not where you think I am. I'm in the centre of Gloucester looking for a camera, because my camera has broken irreparably and I need one as quickly as I can. And the shop opens at 9, so I'm going to wait and be the first one through the door. And of course my mother said, well, my father will, she will dispatch father, he'll come and collect me, so, you know, don't worry about that. Anyway, finally at 9 o'clock the doors opened, in I went, looked through all the catalogues, and you know, they just don't have any low price cameras anymore. They are dead into these sports cameras, which are tiny little things that you affix to your helmet if you're going swimming or something stupid like that. Not really suitable. They also are now split between those that carry SD cards, which is what I've been based on since, you know, the third camera, and they are now split between those SD cards and the same sort of cameras, but they take, you know, mini SD cards, which cost twice expensive, and so that ruled out them, because obviously I would have to then buy them as well, and I had a stack of SD cards that I could use. So we were left with only two, one of which was not too bad, but I wasn't sure, you know, on what I was going to go for. The other one was horrendously expensive. I was expecting to get one between £60 and £90, and the cheapest they had was about 150 something or other. Now, I couldn't even make that using all the windfall money. Thankfully, when my father arrived and he saw me in that quandary, he said, well, you know, we'll help you out with the rest of it. So I said, well, not to worry, because I'd already decided that I was going to use up most of the windfall money on this this purchase. But in the end, they bought it for me, which was so kind of them, because it was a disaster, and you know, how we managed to get back before 10 o'clock and get breakfast, I will never know. So all of that had happened before 10 o'clock. The breakfasts here are not bad at all. There's a choice of granola for, you know, or sort of little cereal packets. There's toast and croissants. And there is a cooked breakfast, which really is bacon, eggs and sausage. So, you know, we were ready. And then of course it was time to go and get ready for the wedding, and we left just after noon The rest of my family, of course, at that point checked out because they were going back straight after the wedding. Our first port of call was to the reception area, which was Elmore something or other, I think. I can't quite remember. Can't remember the name of the place. I think it's Elmore Hotel or something like that. Anyway, lovely grounds. A really, really old house, sort of filled with antiques, but large rooms, sort of more like halls. And there was like canapes, and you could walk around the gardens and stuff like that. And then they put on a bus so that we could all go to the church, which wasn't very far away, to be fair. It was about a 5-minute journey by bus. A beautiful little church in a graveyard which was, you know, you had a 200-year-old tomb next to, you know, somebody who'd passed away 3 or 4 years ago. Very, very strange. And then at 2 o'clock we had the wedding ceremony, which was lovely. And then we all went back to the hotel for the reception. You know, there was lots of photographs to begin with little canapes, and then we moved into the sort of the bit at the back, which was like, I thought it was a barn conversion, but it could have been like one of these eco created things. It was joined to the hotel, but probably not as old. So, yes, the wedding. I'd got to the reception and we moved to this sort of area. I don't know if it had been a barn conversion or what, but we all sat on little round tables, and the speeches followed, and then after the speeches, the meal, which was very nice. We had salmon to begin with, duck for main, and brownie, chocolate brownie for dessert. After which time the band started up with the, well, there was the cutting of the cake first, and then the band started up and the first dance. And that was in, if you can imagine, the main hotel followed by the area where we had our sort of meal. In between them, sort of like a link, if you like, without going through the grounds, that was where the dancing area was, and it had been sort of closed off with curtains, which was a nice touch, because the curtains opened to reveal like this dance floor with the disco balls and that sort of thing. Of course, by this point in time, it was about 8:30, and as my parents and my sister were going straight home, we didn't really have time to stay any longer than that, so we left at that point. My nan and my parents returned. I heard that it was slow going on the way back. They didn't stop at all because there was either major roadworks or something like that. They were very, very delayed getting back. I don't know about my sister, although I have to say that they dropped me off back here before they went. And that's when I saw the gulls all coming in and landing on the roof of the Peel sort of shops in the Peel trading estate. Of course, by that time my camera was flat because it had only had 3 of the 5 hours for charging that it really needed, to be fair, in the morning. So I wasn't able to take pictures at night, really, and I sort of came back here, charged my camera, and spent the evening, well, the night by that point, watching the TV. After, of course, having dinner. and I had tea, I think in a Burger King, in the on the Peel trading estate, because that was nice and close, and that was it. That was it.